So this will actually conclude our 5-part series, and I think that this one is the most important one just because this is more on the offensive side. I believe we talked a little bit more on the defensive and footwork. So ultimately, this is kind of like the cherry on top, right? So and this is like the most effective thing that Canelo did against Jermell, and it's actually a double jab cross or a double jab overhand right or just basically 1-2. So I mean, fundamentals, the basics, they win fight, right? You're never gonna see somebody do a whole pad word combination to win a fight. Fundamentals, 1-2s, cross, hooks, they win you fights. Sometimes uppercuts, left hooks to the body, of course. So one of the things that now you'll play Canelo again, all right? So one of the things that Canelo did very very well is of course blend that overhand right with a bunch of, I guess you could say, offensive fundamental pieces throughout this whole fight. So one of the things that Canelo did quite well is the fact that he would throw somewhat of a double jab overhand right punch, which it's kind of hard to explain in a way because of the fact that even though he did throw a double jab, it's kind of like he kind of like pumped out like the second jab. Like he'll commit, just kind of like close the space with the first jab, right? Boom, and then he would kind of like somewhat retract his hand and like kind of pump it, like boom, yeah, exactly. And Jermell, I don't know if he like would fall for it, but the moment he did, right, like the overhand right would be there, boom, and of course it would go over Jermell's guard and come on in. And as we mentioned again, sometimes he would do that, like double jab, boom, pump it again, boom, overhand right, boom, and that basically sometimes would find the opening for the left hook, right, boom. And so that's one of the ways in which Canelo was very offensive minded throughout this whole fight. That double jab, overhand right, and again, boom, 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 overhand right. And I believe the knockdown was very similar as well. It was like an overhand right as well that Jermell didn't really see. And also like halfway through the fight, you also see Eddie kind of like give him like basically the same cues, right? Like jab, like straight, and then loop a shot, straight, loop a shot, straight, loop a shot. And that's kind of like that was kind of like the formula that Canelo used when he wasn't really attacking downstairs, right? It was jab, overhand right, jab, overhand right, or double jab, overhand right, boom, or jab, pump, the second jab, and overhand right. So there was instances, as we mentioned in one of those previous videos, where Jermell was able to block, right? But once again, like it, basically he would block, but he would still be taking damage to the arm. Not only that, he didn't just mix up the double jab with the overhand right. As I mentioned, sometimes like the overhand right was a throwaway shot to throw a left hook, right? So yeah, I think that's basically it, bro.
Yeah,
I think we covered at least the most important elements or the most important fundamentals that actually made Canelo victorious in this fight. As I mentioned, I don't really want to take anything away from Canelo. I think that the game plan was masterfully put together. That's kind of basically it. I think that, as I mentioned, those are like at least the big key elements. Of course, there was other little things, but I mean, if we go into those things, I mean, we're gonna be here forever, right? Like trying to decipher every second of every minute of every round, right? So, yeah, those are just kind of like our key takeaways. So if you guys think that we missed another big thing, just kind of let us know in the comment section. And you had anything to add, bro?
Just one thing that people are going to for sure talk about the weight, how the weight wasn't an issue. But the reason why we did 5 videos is because weight wasn't the only thing. Yeah, so it's an issue, but there are 4 other big parts that we noticed. So I know I always see the comments like, oh, the weight wasn't a big deal, blah, 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 whatever. But the reason why there are so many, there's 4 videos they're going to watch because
there was more to that.
Yeah, there wasn't just the weight. There's 4 other things that he just broke down. So yeah.
So that's it. Yeah, that's it. Anything you guys need to know in the description box.